everyone. We're about to start. Can you please grab a seat, please? Grab your favorite seat, please, guys. All right, everyone. Can you hear me well? Okay, excellent. Okay, well, thanks everyone for coming. Please raise your hand if this is your first time here at a Tech and Tequila event. Awesome. And raise your hand if this is your first time at Capital Factory. Awesome. Excellent. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what both are. Tech and Tequila is just an event, a networking event where we always talk about technology. It's always a different topic, it's always a different speaker, and we give tequila and we have fun. So, and we do it here at Capital Factory. Capital Factory is an ecosystem of events, it's an ecosystem of entrepreneurs. They have open co-working spaces. So if you haven't checked them out, you can follow them at their website. You can look at their website, see all sorts of events that they are doing. There's always an event every single day of the year. So for sure, there's going to be an event for you beside this one. And and obviously, we have to thank Capital Factory for sponsoring this event, for giving us the opportunity to be here at their venue, at their space. And so let's give a big applause to Capital Factory, please. And also, well, Blue People, I'm part of Blue People. Blue People is a software development agency. What we do is we build software for companies. So if you want to learn more about what we do, how we do it, or you have any need of building an app, we're here to help you, and you can come to me at any moment at this event. Please register. We have our QR here and also at the table at the entrance. We have a LinkedIn, we have a Tech and Tequila event, LinkedIn, so that you can never miss one of these events. Like I said, we do it every month, and it is the first Tuesday of every month. We do it here in Austin, and we also do it in Houston. So right now in Houston, they are doing a Tech and Tequila right now at this moment. Okay, so you can follow us on Instagram and on LinkedIn. And also, during the talk, if you want a drink, you just raise your hand and Enrique is going to take care of you. All right, so let's give a big applause to Enrique that's serving the tequila. And actually, Enrique is not just a bartender. He's the CEO of our company, so he's more than a tequila expert. Okay. All right. So today is a special day because today we have a very important speaker. Rosa has already been a speaker for us in the past, and I think it is the first person that's actually doing two Tech and Tequila events. So you can imagine how the previous event was. She had a lot of people, a lot of engagement. So we are very happy to have her again. So let's give a big applause to Rosa Yupal.
Well, thank you so much. So today I'm going to be talking a lot about sales. So who wants to raise sales? Who wants to sell more? Yeah, let's go for it. And then I'm going to talk about how I use AI to do that specifically. But right now, I want to touch a niche, which is ghosting. Tell me how painful is ghosting? How painful is ghosting for you guys?
My abandonment trauma is so triggered right now.
Perfect. Okay, so let's talk about, first of all, the ghosting that I want to talk about. So ghosting happens at the beginning. The real ghosting happens similar to when we're dating. You have a conversation, right? You have the discovery, you have a conversation, you think everything is going great. I'm gonna get a call tomorrow, right? Oh, this is a long-term relationship. Wow! And then crickets. They're not answering your text. The emails go unresponsive, right? And you're like, what? I thought we had a relationship, right? That is painful. But let me tell you what's really more painful. More painful is when you have that relationship, right? You have the discovery call and they're like, yeah, I think I can use this product. And then you're like, oh, let me show it to you. And you show it and you're like, look at this, shiny buttons, oh, wonderful. And they're like, oh yeah, let me bring my manager. Let me bring some more people. And then you're like, great. And then crickets. And you're like, wait, I thought you liked my product, right? I thought this was going great. And then it becomes more painful. Then it becomes when they're like, yes, I like your product. Let's try it out. You want 30 days? Yes, you can try it. Go ahead and try it for 30 days, and you're gonna love it. Why are you gonna love it? Oh, because my product sells itself. Right? Who thinks that? Who thinks that the product sells itself? Thank you, nobody. There are no CEOs here, obviously, because CEOs think your product sells itself, right? No. Exactly. So when we're there and we have all the way to the POC, it is the ultimate injury. Why? Because now you told your manager, oh, we show the product. But then you send it out for trial. And now the CEO knows it. Now it's on CRM. And what happens when something is on CRM? Forecasted. Yes, it is forecasted. And what happens when you get ghosted after that? Who can tell me the pain? Come on, share, be vulnerable. What happens? Nobody has never been come on, you've been ghosted.
I'm numb to it at this point.
You're not.
I've been jaded, there's too many calluses.
Exactly. Hey, move it out. It's going to be next quarter. And then 365 days later is like, it's still come. It will be there, right? We don't lose hope. So what happens? Do you know that most deals do not happen at discovery? They don't die there. At discovery, what we're doing is we're qualifying. They're qualifying you, you're qualifying them. But post-POC, it happens for a reason. It happens because you don't know what was happening behind the closed doors. So let me tell you, if you can't win the room when you're not in it, then the deal's probably lost. And that is a hard thing to do when you're in enterprise. You have to win when you're not in the room when they're making the decisions. Now, let's talk about the risk signals. How do you know this is going to happen? It's hard to forecast ghosting, right? But it really not, because you have some signals that you decide to ignore. I mean, it's just kind of like when you get married and then you get divorced and people ask you, like, didn't you know? No. And then you're thinking, yes. There were some risks out there, and I decided not to listen to them because, we were in love with the client, right? Yeah, we love those. So what are those? There are some vague next steps. We're going to be talk about it. We'll get back to you. We'll review it internally. Oh, thank you. The moment that you hear, we'll review it internally, it's like, that's a risk signal right there. The other one is the client is asking for more technical information, more commercial questions. That's not a bad signal unless you had already talked about it over and over again. That means that somebody else is asking for this information that you didn't know who was asking. The other one is somebody is asking for a clarification on a non-critical function. Who has sold a product and then somebody's asking you for something that you're thinking, that's not even important. Why are we looking at this? You have?
Yeah.
Right? You have, right? And you're like, why? Do you know why?
Well, they probably don't know they didn't understand the value proposition.
Ah, thank you. They didn't understand the value proposition. But most importantly, there could be an influencer out there saying, I don't think this product is all that great. What about, look at this little thing here, right? And they don't have an answer for that little thing. Why? Because you didn't think it was important. Your champion didn't think it was important. But that little loud influencer is talking around, talking about that little thing that had nothing to do.
The answer is yes, sir, we do that too.
Yes, and customization comes. We'll do that. The next thing is the competitor advantage. I have sometimes walked into customers and I'm thinking, I'm a fantastic salesperson and I have a great champion. And guess what? My competitor, who was also an excellent salesperson, had a stronger champion. Because remember, it is not about the pain. In enterprise, it's not necessarily about the pain. It is about who has the bigger pain. All CEOs have to choose. There is 5 fires. Which one do we want to take care of it? And influencers talk to executive buyers all the time. And they're always, this fire is, no, this fire is more dangerous. No. So it is really hard, even if you have a great champion, right? So when you hear somebody that is talking, is cautious during the demo, when somebody's looking and asking a weird question, you're thinking, why is he bringing this up? Doo-doo. Risk signal. Somebody's out there messing up with your value proposition with the deal. And the last one is, has it happened to you that you have this great demo, you think you know everybody, right? And then somebody shows up and they start asking questions. And you're like, who are you? Why are you here? This is my party, right? Has that happened to you all, right? And you realize, why was this person here? And you don't know that that person is actually asking the questions that the executive buyer wants to know. Now, they're not a decision maker, but the executive buyer sends somebody neutral to find out. So there's all these things happening, and you don't know. Because you're in love with your product, you have a great relationship with your champion, the decision maker is like, yes, you're the person, you're the product, you're the company. So another thing that I wanted to let you know is the main reason, this has happened to me over and over again, that I have lost deals is because I didn't connect with the full buying team. The full buying team. What does that mean? It means everybody. Do you know how many people I coach and I ask them, so who is the user? Oh, the user? Oh, don't worry about the user. They just go with it. Right? And you're like, let's put him in there. Or I have actually gone and talked to, I remember one time I had a conversation with the CEO of this big tower company in telecom. I sat in his office and he was like, I let my people make their own decisions. I have no say. And then later I understand what happened. He had an opinion, right? He absolutely had an opinion. So he wants to show that I'm a servant leader. But at the end of the day, it was his money. So he needed to know, where are you spending it? The other part is, If you just have one friendly contact, not enough. And beware of the hidden blockers. Do you know how you're always looking who is going to make a decision, who is interested in buying my product? Okay, this person has a pain. And the one thing that we forget is who is going to block the purchase. I don't know if it's because we don't want to look at it, because we don't want to, ouch, that hurts. But naming your blockers is as important as naming your backers. Why? Again, because the blockers, it's not like they don't want their product. The blockers are there because they want their project approved, not yours. So here is something I learned. Every ghosted deal has two things in common. There wasn't a stakeholder mapping, and you were absolutely blindsided. You were blindsided, and you didn't know why they didn't call you, why they didn't say, why were they so excited? And you know they had a pain. The pain didn't go away, but you just don't understand what happened. So here is where I use AI on the stakeholder mapping. There is no way you're going to go into a large account without doing the research. You have to prepare. You know, The Art of War. I love that book because it was, you needed to know who were the participants, what were your moves, 2 or 3 times. There are 4 things, a quadrant. The first one is the high power blockers. You have to engage and convert them. Don't avoid them. I love to avoid them, right? It was like, oh, I just don't want to talk to that person because they just say no to everything I say. Try to convert them. You might not. It's very hard. But you know what I say? Neutralize them. You have to neutralize what they say with something, with a value that you bring. The other ones are the high power backers. You have to empower them and leverage. What does it mean to empower a high backer? What do you think? What do you think it is? Who has tried to sell a big account, and what do you think it means to empower a high backer? Who can tell me? Go for it.
Knows who to talk to.
Excuse me?
Knows who to talk to.
They know how to talk to you, and you're going to leverage their connections, right? The other thing I do is I do everything for them. I write their PowerPoint presentations, I write their memos, I write their emails, I write their forms, I write everything. Don't you worry. I go through the effort of empower them. I teach them how to sell my product. Because what happens? When does the sale occur? Behind doors. They are the only sales person when I'm not there. So you have to empower them. What to say? You have to empower them to respond to objections. So empower them and leverage. Low power blockers or neutrals? They're low power. Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on them. Monitor them. Don't forget them. Because they can come back and you don't know what. And they might not kill your business, but man, they're really going to make it hard. And finally, the low power backers. So many times when I go do this coaching and we're doing a deal review, they're like, oh, this user like it, but they're not that important. What I'm telling you is they are important. At the end of the day, when there's 2 products and you are the same, if you have a user, and I've done this before, that steps up and says, this product is definitely easier to use, that's all they need. just one testimonial from a user to break the tie. So do not forget about them, right? Now, I want to hear some questions. What is this what you imagine to go after the strategic accounts are? Yeah? It's more than just one road, right? You have to go through a lot of people. So I have a framework that now I use with AI that helps me identify this before I engage a company and during the engagement. It is kind of like an account plan, but that continues, a strategic plan. First is the objective. What do they want? What does each stakeholder want? Usually what they want is paired with your value, what you bring. So just if what they want is answered with your value, then we're doing good. The other one is the role and reach. What is their role? And here's the important part. How influential are they? What is their reach? That is super important. Backers and blockers. Where do they stand? About 25 years ago, when I just started learning to sell, I took this strategic selling. It was a Miller Hyman. That was the only methodology back then. And the one thing that I learned is red flag, green flag. Don't skip it. I know salespeople, because I was one. I hate go to talk to somebody that is just not going to help me. Everybody's going to help you. So recognize who is your backer and who is your blocker. They're just as important. Impact. Who can tell me what impact is? And I talked about this in the last, so I don't know if you've been here in my last talk, but what does impact mean? You know, I'm going to call you on you.
Impact is the more day-to-day emotional pains, and then you kind of couple that with like the logical business case so they can sell it internally. And when I think about impact, it's like the grander implications of some of those early stage problems you might have uncovered.
Exactly. So it's not about solving the pain. It's how does solving the pain impacts the business. That's impact. And at the end of the day, let me tell you, you're not solving pains. You're impacting businesses. You're impacting people. So he's right, there is two types of impact. There is the rational, kind of like revenue up, cost down. Any economic buyer, that's all they care. An economic buyer, does he care if the IT dude goes home at 5 p.m. instead of 8 p.m.? Let me tell you, they don't care. They don't care if they're overworked. They don't. All they care is the economic buyer. All cares is, am I going to make more money? Am I going to save money? Who knows the definition of an economic buyer? I mean, you all have been in sales, so who knows the definition of who is the economic buyer?
Is it more of a transactional?
No, the economic buyer is the one that holds the money. He is not the decision maker. There is the decision maker, and then there's the economic buyer. Why is it different? You can tell me.
One is procurement, that's only looking at it on a per unit cost basis.
So economic buyer is usually like an executive. The economic buyer is the one that holds the P&L.
Okay. So they're the final signature.
They're the final signature. They don't make a decision. They don't. The decision maker makes a decision, right? But the economic buyer will veto the decision. So just remember that, right? They won't decide whether this product or that product. They don't care about that. But they will veto the decision. So it's important that you understand that the economic buyer is not the decision maker. And the decision maker will choose you, and you can still lose. Funny enough, the decision maker can say, not you, and you can still win. That actually has happened to me. The decision maker says, I don't like it. But the economic buyer says, this is the solution. And they veto. So it's important to know who's who and who has the power and influence. And the impact, the rational impact holds on the economic buyer. The impact, the emotional impact, goes to the decision maker. What do I mean by emotional impact, do you think? Who can tell me? What does emotional impact mean? Guess. No? Okay, let me tell you. What's in it for me? Do you think that's important to the people that you're selling them?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's in it for me? That's the emotional impact. When you're selling to a person. And that decision is emotional. The economic buyer, not emotional. But the decision maker, that's emotional. Is how is this going to impact my day-to-day? How is this going to impact my team? How is this going to impact my job, my promotion, my going up in the business? So knowing the emotional impact of every stakeholder is key. And knowing the rational impact of the economic buyer is key. I'm going to tell you, in the 25 years that I've been selling, if I don't have those, it's going to be hard to win. You must have that information. And lastly, touch plan. You don't have to go visit the blocker all the time, but you at least have to have a plan of how you're going to neutralize them, right? You need to neutralize the blocker, and you need to have a plan. And let me tell you a secret, because people always ask me, how do you handle a blocker? How is it when you go and try to sell and you find somebody that's saying no? They're not a decision maker, but they're saying no. How do you think you handle it? And that's a super, super tip trick that I want to show it to you. Who thinks? Who can tell me? Does anybody? How do you neutralize a blocker?
I try and find some kind of commonality between me and that person.
Some sort of connection, some sort of commonality. But they probably have their what's in it for me, right? They have their what's in it for me. There is some reason they're blocking this, right? Let me tell you, the only way that you can take that block off is by finding an influencer. The decision maker is not going to be able to convince them because they believe the decision maker has something going on for them. But usually, you can bring a partner, a distributor, right? You can bring another client. You bring an influencer that come and convince this blocker, no, what you're saying is not right. I don't have anything. I don't have any dog in this fight. But this is the truth. This is what's happening. And so they tend to believe the influencer more than the decision maker. And now, the hands-on moment. How do I use this framework? Yes, questions. I love questions. But ask me questions.
No, somebody to tequila.
You were oh, sorry. Perfect. Is it time to go for tequila?
I can ask you a question if you want.
Great question.
Fantastic question. Is there more tequila? Totally good. Totally acceptable. Totally acceptable. Okay. I'm going to stop here before I show you the framework, but I wanted to hear any questions that you have. Do you have any sales? Do you have any accounts that you're going after that you're seeing this? Anybody? No? Do you have somebody? Yeah.
Well, it's kind of weird. So I'm in sales, but they're already our partners, and we have to sell them basically every single quarter a new tool. And I have kind it's like I basically need to sell this product within 20 minutes. And sometimes the front desk would be like the person of influence, but at the same time they're the blocker.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where sometimes I'm very firm on like, yeah, we're losing money, so then that's how they let me in, but then sometimes it's like they don't even care. So I guess I'm navigating how to pass that.
That's a very good question. You have a blocker in this case, and you need to figure out what are you going to tell this blocker to empathize with you. It's all emotional, right? You know that blocker is not rational, right? And if you're thinking that you're going to influence an emotional decision with logic, that's going to be very hard. Let me tell you, I know it's hard. I know it's hard because I used to tell my husband, I have this problem, this is happening, and he used to bring logic to the conversation. Like, well, wake up earlier, or don't take that route, right? And I used to get so mad. I said, this is an emotional feeling. Don't be giving me logical explanations. The customer is the same way. You have to recognize when is the block an emotional block. Don't respond with logic. It's never going to work. Empathize with them. Mirror them. They're like, I don't want to give it to you. You don't want to give it to me. I understand. You must be very busy. Use emotion with emotion. Because logic will never, your rational logic is not going to work out very well. And threatening is going to be better, right? It's usually the carrot more than anything. Okay, any other questions?
I mean, it's related to what her point at the beginning, but I think maybe it's a good opportunity for her to also identify some specific pain points of that customer and also bring them up to their company and try to understand and develop other tools that they might be not willing to cover, and that could be potentially a new product for the company to sell them. Because honestly, I think that she might be, well, like the blocker, having a lot of stress about like different things, and there's a huge opportunity there that maybe they are not seeing.
Exactly. You said the word. What did he say? Stress. Stress. Is that an emotion or is that logical? It's an emotion, right? If somebody's stressed out, you have to first empathize to gain trust. I've said this over and over again. If you do not empathize first, you can't get trust. You can't get trust, you're not going to go anywhere. So yes, back to what you're saying. Before you pitch, you mirror, right? Like Chris Voss, mirror, you empathize, you gain trust. And you can do it in 5 minutes, right? If you practice, you can gain trust within 5 minutes. And so just think about it. You're thinking, I'm sure that person is there, and they get a lot of phone calls. She was probably yelled at twice today. Right? Empathize with that first. And then do your pitch. And it really just takes 5 to 7 minutes. We sometimes don't think we have time, but we really do. We really need to, actually. Okay, so how to use this framework? The first thing to do is know all your personas. Who knows every persona that they need to know for their sale? No, you. You do? You know every single one? Yes. Good. Now name all your personas and put every title they could possibly have on LinkedIn. Okay? Because now you can say, I sell to the VP of engineering. Well, the VP of engineering could also be the VP of product, could also be similar to the VP of engineering, or it could be the director of QA or the product manager. This is for a customer of mine, and he gave me 5 personas. Look at how many titles they have. Senior Director of Engineering, Senior Director of QA, Senior, or just Director, or just VP, or maybe Senior VP. Just name it. Just go in there and name every single title. Go to ChatGPT and say, I need the VP of engineer, I need the director of product. Tell me all the potential titles that you can find on LinkedIn. You need to know all those titles, okay? That's rule number one, because you don't want to miss any of these. And remember, ChatGPT and AI is looking and it's picking up every single title. Then, very simple. You ask for the specified company, and this is my specific prompt that works with my blueprint that I'll show you. Insert the URL. You are going to insert not the name of the company, because God knows every company now is IO or AI or .org. Put the actual URL and say, identify the individuals with these titles, and that's where you put all the titles. If you can put 50 titles, put the 50 titles, okay? Find the actual person and summarize the challenges they face in their role right now concerning. This is key. Challenges they have right now concerning your company. So if you're selling QA testing, the customer of mine, then put the name of your company and your value proposition and run it. That is going to give you every decision maker, influencer, user with their names for the company that you're looking for. Who believes me? Yeah, good, good, good. It does. And we're going to run it right now. It will give you, what?
Post that on your LinkedIn page so we can copy it.
Yes, I'm going to do that. After you run that, the next one is you're going to use this Orbit file that you see here. And in this file, I created this framework without AI. So I just upload it to AI, and here it tells you everything. It tells you every person, it tells you the components, and it makes you plot the name, their objective, the role, the backers, the impact, and the touch plan. And it's going to give you all the others. And then it gives you the quadrants, high power, low power, and then it gives you what is it? What are the definitions? After that, the most important part, it helps you prioritize who do you need to talk to and how often. And finally, it's going to help you with an engagement plan. What do you need to do? And believe it or not, I created this framework based on the hundreds of times that I had to get together with my team or my boss, and they're like, so where are we in this account? And I used to tell them, this is information, this is where we are, we still need to meet this person and this person and this person. And so it is not a done deal until I met everybody and until I knew the emotional impact for every single person and until I knew the rational impact of the economic buyer. And so you put it all together, it's an analysis and a strategic engagement, and you do it before you go into a customer, you go into a discovery call, you feed it, and you continue to build it. By the time you are in that demo, you're going to know everything about everybody. And it's going to be in one document. So when you go to your demo, don't be like, blah, blah, feature, light. You're going to be talking to that stakeholder about this feature and the other stakeholder about this other feature. And 3 things, 4 things, that's it. Don't be like a lot of solutions engineers that I know, they're like, let me start from the beginning, turn the computer on, Look at all these lights in here. And look at all these tabs over there. Who cares? They don't care about everything that your software does. All they care is how is this going to impact their lives, right? So that is the software. We're gonna run a quick run so you guys see how it works. This is where I don't have my glasses and I have to write. So I might have to, so I might have to ask for a little help. So who volunteers? Okay, this is not a magician trick. Who volunteers to type out for me? Yeah, go ahead, come in. Perfect. Excellent. I need volunteers. Okay, so now you see here, and we're gonna use one of your companies. Insert the URL of a company, of a client that you want to go into. You wanna go sell to this client. Here, in this one here, insert URL, right here.
Of a company I want to sell to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, perfect. Now hold on. Now you're gonna give me the personas. So delete that and tell me all the titles that you think are in charge of buying your product.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. We're here. We're ready, right? They're drinking margaritas. They're having palomas. Don't worry. You just go for it. Woo! This is where the music starts.
Okay.
Okay, that's two, okay. And now it says one more part. It says, what's your company name and what's your value proposition? Who can name their value proposition of their company in one sentence? Yeah, you, what? All of you should be able to give a value proposition of your company in one sentence. So, yeah,
I'll
now.
just pick a company I'm interested in. Okay.
No, this is your company. Do you have your own company, the company you're working for?
I want to,
Okay, just put the company in there.
but I don't have a company right now. If somebody has a company they're interested in, maybe.
Okay, so what company did you put in here? Confluent.io. Who wants to sell to Confluent.io? Nobody?
Say the question again?
Do you want to sell to Confluent.io?
Sure.
Yeah.
What do you have to sell?
AI services.
Okay, perfect.
That's nice.
That's nice. So just put
What kind of IA?
his company is called. What's your company called?
Trinzik, TRINZIK.
TRINZIK. Okay.
And then what's your value proposition?
AI implementation services and AI agents.
There you go.
Okay. Now put hit. See what it says. Can you guys read it? Okay. I don't know if you can read it. Yeah, it's going. It's going. Have a margarita again. Just keep going. This is what happens when you're doing.
Or am I good to go?
No, you're good to go. But thank you. Thank you for volunteering. I appreciate that. So what is going to happen here is it starts to identifying all the relevant roles that they put in here. Not only that, it starts to analyze what are the roles' challenges right now. What are their pain? Remember, you don't know all this information, but you have to walk in with what? With a hypothesis of pain. You have to think, this is the potential pain of this company have. And it's going to give you, the other thing that is important and it's going to look into this is that it goes into the next prompt, is if the CEO doesn't have a strategy or an objective that somehow relates to your product, you're probably not going to have the money to buy your product. Do you know what I mean? So every new project has to match some directive from the CEO. So if the CEO says digital transformation, good luck. You can sell CRM, you can sell AI. But if the CEO says we're looking to expand to new markets, good for me, because that's what I do, right? And so remember that it is about what's important for leadership, for them to be able to give you the budget. So if you could see, it's telling you exactly who holds the titles. Who is the VP of infrastructure, and then it tells you what are the challenges and they're juggling right now, specifically to Trinsic AI. So streaming agents. Guess what? Confluent AI is pushing streaming agents. Good. The data quality and governance. And so it gives you a lot of information specifically about you. The next, then I cannot do it here, but the next step is to upload that framework that I have, and it's going to give you all the information about the backers, the blockers, what is their pain, what's their objective, and how to approach them. What are the words that you need to use to make them turn around? So this is it for now, but I can be here. Let me go back to the key takeaways. So the key thing is single threading. Never just go to one person. Even if you're a smaller cell, a mid-market, just going to one channel is not going to work. Minimum 3. Second, no plan. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a hypothesis of pain, and at least run this for everybody, then you're already in a disadvantage, because you're talking and you're doing all this discovery with things that you should already know. There is something that I know, is there are stupid questions. Not the ones that you're gonna ask me, those are not stupid. But usually there are stupid questions, and are the questions that the AI can answer. The stakeholder mapping is very important, and what you can do is you're gonna be able, that when you have your account in CRM, you're gonna be able to answer, this is what's happening. You're gonna be able to answer, this is where I am. These are my risks, these are my pitfalls, these are my advantages. I have to be in one deal review or pipeline review where the salesperson is this explicit about where their account is. It's usually, oh yeah, it's going to sell next month. Oh yeah, I talked to my decision maker. He told me that it's going to sell next month. That's all I hear. But the moment that you are very detailed about where you are in your account, trust me, it's the fastest pipeline review ever. That's, if you have any questions, you can find me here. This is my LinkedIn. Please connect with me, and I can send you the framework, and I can send you all the prompts. You can try it on their own. And I'm going to give you a shout out to my friend John here. He has created this super duper executive agent where you can ask me any question, or you can get a meeting with me. And it can give you all my frameworks, how I do sales, what do I teach you, any questions, that anything about my blogs, anything. It can give you a little mini Rosa AI that can help you. So feel free, yeah, right? So that is all. Thank you so much. This is all I wanted to, hopefully you found this valuable. Any questions that you might have? No.
When we went through that exercise, are you saying take the data pulls from Chat 5 and then upload the orbit so it populates the orbit?
Yes. The moment that you upload the framework that I give you, it fills out all the table. And it just gives you tables with all the information. And every time you have a conversation, like a discovery call, like a meeting, like a demo, load the transcript, run it again. And it continues to clean up the table for you. Yes.
So I do B2B and B2C sales.
Mhm.
So as I look at this, I'm thinking like, would I reframe it a little bit for a B2C to say like the different hats they wear or personalities that they have? Have you done this before to shape it that way?
Well, the key here is what's in it for you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if I just want to sell him a pen, I want to say, what's in it for him? What's in it for you? That is B2B, B2C, because at the end of the day, we're selling to people.
She
Right.
didn't say it was enterprise, though.
What?
I said you did lead in saying it was enterprise, to be fair.
Yes, this is enterprise. Yeah. This is a more complex sale. This is an enterprise sale. This is, if you want to sell the $100,000 ACV, the $200,000 ACV, this is a must. But you can downplay it as well, right? You don't have to go through so much strategy, but let me tell you, knowing about the company before you go in is so much more help. Any other questions? Yes.
How do you influence or pick out the big influencers from the company versus the minor influencers?
Oh, that is very good. When you run this Orbit framework, it will tell you a level of influence. It goes from P1 to P5. And usually, P5 is the most influence and P1. And why? It's because the AI and the prompts look for the pain. So they're looking for anything that they said. They said on a press release, something they put on the LinkedIn profile, and the triggers match your value proposition. It will tell you this person have most, you can solve most of the pain for this person. So this is where you have your champion. You walk in with this and you talk to your champion and then say, this is what I learned. Is this yes, no? And this is what will help you. Every meeting that you have, you feed it again and correct it and correct it. So it's about iteration, right? Because it's not going to give you the right answer right away. Any other question? No? We're good? You ready to go sell enterprise? Anyway, thank you so much. Please, let's just have some margaritas. Javi.
All right, so let's take a picture. So just where you are, just stand up. And if you want to be in the middle, I'm going to take the picture. All right. 1, 2, tequila. Tequila. All right, let's give a big applause to Rosa. We still have time for networking. We still have half an hour to continue drinking, networking. If you need parking validation tickets, come to me. I have right here. And that's it. Have fun.